Alright guys, I have this video for you on how to pour a Topcast concrete or a sand wash finish concrete. This is a project we did here in Bellflower, California. We did a pool deck along with the patio, and this was a lot of concrete. It was about 3 trucks. It was a pretty big pour, really technical, because concrete is very detailed. We have our rebar set up, our forms, and everything covered where we don't want the concrete to splash on, which is very important. Is concrete is a lot of prep. If there are surfaces you don't want concrete to splash on, you do have to cover it. So here we have our concrete finishers. They're doing our joints. And one of the most important things when it comes to concrete is having a very good team of finishers. Your guys have to be craftsmen. You can't just, call a concrete plant or a concrete truck. You have to have a very good team of finishers. And yes, it is hard to find very good guys, but once you have your guys, you have your good guys that won't let you down. You can use them whenever you want, So I would say when it comes to concrete finishing, and if it's a very technical pour, the finishers are the most vital thing. Because, if you have guys that they're just there to get their day's worth of work, they're not very detailed, it can turn pretty bad. And concrete is very unforgiving, and it does not wait for anybody. Concrete is very technical, so if you don't have a good team of finishers, it can go bad very fast. And here we are on pour day. We're pouring all of the concrete. Like I said, it was about 3 trucks, which is around 30 yards. And we had about, I think it was 8 finishers on this project. It was a pretty hot day. We had a lot of buckets of Topcast for these 3 trucks. I believe we had about 6 or 7 buckets of Topcast. And one of the secrets to Topcast is you have to saturate it. It's through trial and error. I've seen where we saturate it, where we think we have saturated it, but it ended up not being enough Topcast. So what we do is we are very generous with our Topcast. We don't care if we have to spend another $200-300 on an extra bucket, because as a contractor, what matters the most is the craftsmanship of your work. You don't want to be doing projects that that don't look good. And, if it's going to cost another $200-300 more bucks to make sure your Topcast comes out, top dollar, why not? Which is what I do now. And you can see right here, you can see my guy, Francisco. He's pouring that Topcast on there. He's being very generous. We're not missing any corners or crevices. We, saturated in the joints. All the corners get completely saturated with Topcast. And this is very, very important, because what the Topcast does is it strips off that top layer of cement cream, because concrete is 3 different products. It's cement powder, sand, and gravel. And the top layer is the cement powder, because, the finishers, what they do is they float it, and they float the cream to the top. So the top layer is what gives you that finish. And when you apply the Topcast, it pretty much breaks up that top layer. And if you don't have enough Topcast, it doesn't break off that top layer how it's supposed to. And that's how you get inconsistencies in Topcast. And the last thing you want in your Topcast finished concrete is inconsistencies, because it can be a really nice pour, some really good mud, but inconsistencies, they can really, taint the job, because the money is in the details when it comes to landscaping and concrete and contracting. And you see right here our pump. Francisco is going to town with that Topcast. You see how he's doing one spray. We go over it multiple times. We go over it 2-3 sprays. And here is the next day, early in the morning. So this was a big pour, so we had to have 2 pressure washers getting all of this Topcast off, because if you don't take it off fast enough and it gets hot, it's going to stick to the concrete. And here you go. Very consistent finish. I would say this is one of the most consistent finishes we've had, it came out perfect. There was no details, no bad details about this project. Joints were on the money. Everything was squared. Concrete drained. You can see the water's going real fast into that drain right there. And it's just overall, I would say, an A+ project for us. And so right now the concrete is not finished. So you pressure wash all of your Topcast off, and what gives it that extra, very good finish is an acid wash. And this is the final product right here.